The sky was a big, rumbling gray blanket, stretching all the way across the sleeping city. Soon it would be time for the rain. Deep inside a soft, fluffy cloud, billions and billions of tiny raindrops waited for their turn to tumble down. They were all excited. They loved to splash and patter and make the world fresh and clean. One tiny raindrop, no bigger than a glittery speck, felt a special flutter inside him. His name was Pitter. Most raindrops just fell, splashed, and then quietly rolled away, disappearing into puddles or sinking into the ground. But Pitter wanted something more. He wanted to leave a mark. A beautiful, colorful mark, right there on the gray, bumpy city sidewalk. He wanted to be remembered. That was a big wish for such a small drop, but Pitter felt it deep in his shimmering heart. He wanted to make a colorful stain that would say, "Pitter was here." He watched as his brothers and sisters began to fall, pitter-patter, a soft drumming sound on the world below. Soon it was his turn. Whoosh! Pitter tumbled out of the cloud, past the big, tall buildings, past the pointy tops of the streetlights, and down, down, down he went. He felt like a tiny, shiny pearl falling through the sky. He could see the long gray ribbons of the sidewalk below, getting closer and closer. Flip! Pitter landed gently, right on the edge of the sidewalk. He was a perfect, round, clear drop, reflecting the gray sky like a tiny mirror. He looked around. The sidewalk was wet and dark in patches where other raindrops had already landed. But it was all gray and shiny. No color at all. Pitter felt a little ripple of worry. How could he leave a colorful mark if everything was just gray? How could he be remembered? He had to keep trying. He had to keep moving. Leaving a mark meant being brave and exploring. A tiny breeze, no stronger than a butterfly's wing, tickled his round little shape. It nudged him roll along the bumpy sidewalk. He rolled past a tall lamppost and a big metal trash can. Still no color. Just wet gray stone. But what was that just ahead? A tiny splash of something bright. Pitter rolled a little closer, pulled by a tiny hope. The breeze gave him another gentle nudge. Roll, roll, roll. He came to a stop right next to a small damp shape lying on the ground. It was a leaf. A single perfect leaf that had fallen from a big tree. And oh, what a color it was! It was red. Not a dull, sleepy red, but a vibrant, happy, wake-up-the-world red. It was the color of a juicy apple, the color of a ladybug's shiny back, the color of a fire truck rushing by. It looked so warm and inviting, even though it was wet. It smelled a little bit earthy and fresh. Pitter felt a little wiggle of excitement. Could this be it? Could this be the color he needed to leave his mark? He gently rolled right onto the bright red leaf. His clear, round body pressed against its smooth, damp surface. He felt a tiny tingle as he began to absorb. It wasn't a big, splashy absorption, but a quiet, magical soaking. Slowly, gently, the brilliant red from the leaf began to blush into Pitter. His clear body started to turn a soft, rosy pink, then a deeper cherry red. He was absorbing the color. Now, Pitter wasn't just a clear drop of water. He was a beautiful, shimmering, bright red drop. He rolled off the leaf, leaving a slightly darker, but still very beautiful, red spot where he had rested. He looked at his reflection in a tiny puddle. He was red. He had a color. He felt a rush of warmth, a pattering joy inside him. This was the first step to leaving his mark. He was becoming memorable. On rolled the little red raindrop, plinkety-plunk, leaving a faint rosy trail wherever he went. He was proud of his new red color, but he knew he wanted more. He wanted his mark to be a rainbow of happiness. The red was strong, but he remembered seeing a different kind of happy color, a fresh color, the color of spring. He wanted to find the color green. The rain was still falling, a gentle, steady pitter-patter. Each new drop that landed near Pitter splashed and rolled, but none of them were colored like him. Pitter felt special. A tiny gust of wind swirled past, catching him just right. It lifted him gently, float over a small crack in the sidewalk, and set him down near the edge of the curb. What was that stretching out from the rough, gray concrete? A little patch of bright, spiky shapes. They looked soft and inviting. What could that fresh, lively patch be? growing so happily by the road. Peter rolled closer, his red glow shining brightly. And there it was. A small, vibrant patch of grass, pushing its way up through the cracks. It was the most beautiful color green. Not just one green but many greens. There was a bright sunny grass green like a bouncy frog. There was a deep rich forest green like the leaves on the tallest trees. It smelled like fresh-cut lawns and springtime secrets. It looked soft and felt a little tickly as he rolled right onto it. He nestled himself into the tender blades. Again Peter began to absorb. The green color slowly, gently began to seep into his red. First, his edges turned a blurry brownish color as the red and green mixed. But then as he absorbed more and more of the fresh green, a beautiful transformation happened. His red began to fade, and a wonderful vibrant green started to shine through. He was becoming a brilliant emerald green like a shiny beetle or a fresh new leaf. He rolled off the grass, leaving behind a slightly flattened, but still very green spot. He looked at himself again. Now he was a beautiful shining green drop. He had traded his red for green. He felt a deep sense of calm, a soothing feeling like a quiet forest. He was still leaving his mark, a unique and beautiful one. His journey was making him truly memorable. Unrolled the little green raindrop, drip drop, drip drop, reflecting the world in his cool, calm color. Peter was delighted with his green, but he remembered one more color, a joyful bright color that often danced in the sunshine. He wanted a yellow to add to his mark. A sunny, happy yellow. He had made a red mark, then a green mark, but his big, colorful stain wasn't complete without yellow. The rain had started to slow now, just a soft drip drip drip. The sky was still gray, but it felt a little lighter, as if the sun was peeking from behind the clouds. Peter was getting bigger now, plump with the colors he had absorbed. He could roll with more confidence, a strong round ball of green. He rolled along the edge of a tall, concrete wall, past a tiny ant carrying a crumb. He looked up. What was that soft fuzzy dusting on the tops of the big blooming flowers? He had to find out. Would Peter be brave enough to roll off the smooth sidewalk and explore the bumpy flower bed? He gathered his courage. With a determined wobble, he rolled off the edge of the sidewalk and onto the soft, dark soil of a flower bed. It was a little bit squishy, but he kept rolling past tiny roots and damp pebbles. He saw a beautiful big flower with soft, wide petals. And on its velvety surface, something wonderful was waiting. It was yellow. A dusting of bright, cheerful yellow, soft and powdery, like fairy dust. It was pollen. The happy, golden yellow of a busy bee. The sunshine yellow of a big, bright sunflower. It looked so soft and gentle. Peter felt a wave of pure happiness. This was the yellow he had been searching for. He rolled gently onto the flower petal, directly into the soft, powdery yellow. This time, as he absorbed, something truly magical happened. The yellow didn't replace his green. Instead, it blended. His green began to lighten, to shimmer, to take on a sunny golden glow. He was becoming a beautiful glowing yellow-green, like a tender spring leaf touched by sunshine, or a tiny shy lime. He wasn't just green anymore. He had absorbed the yellow and made it part of himself. Peter rolled off the flower, leaving a clear, round spot on the petal where the yellow dust had been. He looked back at the sidewalk. He had left a little red mark near the leaf. He had left a green mark near the grass. And now he was shining with a beautiful sunny yellow-green. He felt so full of light and color, truly memorable. He had found all the colors. The rain had stopped completely now. The gray clouds were drifting away, and a shy ray of sunshine peeked through, touching the wet city. Peter, now a vibrant yellow-green, knew his special mission wasn't quite finished. He had found the colors, but he hadn't yet made his big, beautiful combined mark on the sidewalk. A very gentle breath of wind, like a whispered secret, guided him back to the main sidewalk. He rolled, a glimmering jewel of yellow-green, to a nice flat gray spot in the middle of the path. This was it. His final landing place. He settled down, pressing his round, colorful body against the damp concrete. He thought of the juicy red leaf. He thought of the fresh green grass. He thought of the sunny yellow pollen. all the colors he had absorbed and carried. And then Peter slowly, gently began to spread. His round shape stretched out, becoming a soft, colorful circle. The yellow-green was at his center, bright and sunny. But as he spread, the faint memories of the red and green he had absorbed earlier also began to appear at his edges, blending softly, like a painter mixing colors on a palette. He became a shimmering, soft blotch of color on the gray sidewalk. A beautiful temporary stain. At his heart was a sunny, vibrant yellow, blending into a fresh, lively green at his middle, and then softly fading to a warm, rosy red at his very edges. It was Peter's mark. A masterpiece of color, glowing for all to see. It was so beautiful. It was temporary, Peter knew. The sun would come out fully, and he would evaporate, becoming a tiny cloud again. But for now, for this perfect shining moment, he was here. He was seen. He was remembered. He had left his colorful mark on the world, just as he had dreamed. He had shown that even a tiny raindrop could be important and bring beauty. The sun started to shine brighter, warming Peter's colorful mark. He felt a gentle lifting sensation, a peaceful floating feeling. He knew his time on the sidewalk was coming to an end. But what about the next rainy day? What new colors might he discover? And what new marks might he leave? Perhaps next time he would find blue like the deep ocean or purple like a sleepy plum. A moral: even the smallest among us can leave a beautiful, lasting mark on the world by being adventurous and open to new experiences, and by embracing the unique qualities we discover along the way.